Hello everybody, it's Mike and Denise back with another video, our review and comment on the plant-based news. This one is called, and I'll let Denise read it, but study. Oops, oh man. Study. I got through all the ads now. Study. Doctors should recommend more plants, less meat for chronic disease. I think I know that already, but a lot of you guys may be new to this, not understand why. So we're going to read it, see what they say, and then give you our review and comment on what's in the article.
An analysis of global nutrition guidelines says recommending the consumption of fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains is key to preventing and managing chronic disease. Doctors should have confidence in recommending plant-based foods such as fruit, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains for managing and preventing chronic diseases, says a epidemiological study, maybe Mike can say that, from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine that was recently published in the medical journal Advances in Nutrition.
All right, and if you guys don't know, lifestyle medicine is kind of the term that they use for how to incorporate these lifestyle choices, aka diet, exercise, it's a new word, diet and exercise, like we're doing now, in your overall health and within the traditional medical system, because the medical system right now doesn't really use that at all, unfortunately. And we also have a free book I want to let you guys know, Live to 150 at liveto150.org, and it talks about us getting daily vigorous aerobic exercise, which is why we're out here walking and not sitting making this video. Go ahead.
The study reviewed 78 clinical practice guidelines published between 2010 and 2021 in North America, Europe, and Asia, and found close alignment in their recommendations for encouraging daily consumption of plant-based foods, while limiting consumption of alcohol, salt, sodium, red meat, and processed meat.
What's the difference between sodium and salt? I don't know. Same thing. As you're adding it anyway, don't add it. It's already in the plants.
There are different forms of sodium. Salt is one of them.
So can you go over those things again? They're talking about all these things together?
Yeah, they're talking about
not just meat.
Recommendations for what to eat and limiting consumption of alcohol, salt, sodium, red meat, and processed meat. It doesn't say anything about limiting dairy. What food groups are better for health? In analyzing the specific food groups, the researchers found that nearly 3/4 of clinical practice guidelines recommends using or increasing intake of vegetables, which was the highest percentage of any food group. Not
vegetables.
Fruit,
not
vegetables.
Fruit. Okay.
No guidelines recommended excluding or reducing vegetables.
There's also some controversy revolving fruit. There are some that think that fruit is the ultimate food for humans. There are others that think that sugar in any form causes cancer, and that you've got to eliminate or minimize your sugar intake of any kind. Minimize, yeah. Especially if you have cancer. So there's a lot of controversy about that, I'd say.
In addition to vegetables, fruit was the most commonly recommended food group at 69%.
Fruit?
Fruit.
Okay, the most commonly recommended.
Whole grains at 58% and legumes at 47%. The food groups most often recommended to limit or reduce among guideline recommendations were red meat at 32%, followed by processed meat at 27%. You would think that processed would come first, since that one increases your cancer risk so much, like pepperoni and sausage.
I never used to like pepperoni and sausage, even when I used to eat meat.
So they also recommended reducing refined grains. Those are junk food carbs at 19%.
Refined, aka processed food. Any kind of processed.
Like cookies.
Processed. Yeah.
Among food components, 62% of guidelines recommended excluding, decreasing, or limiting alcohol, and 56% recommended the same of salt or sodium.
Okay, let's talk about, first of all, carbs can be good if they're whole plant carbs, so don't consider them processed carbs, consider them processed food. The other thing is alcohol is a group 1 carcinogen, and what's the other one?
Sodium?
Sodium, okay. no reason to add salt to anything, and salt is already present in all plants. So you don't need to add it. And the salt form of the salt that you add is actually a form of crushed rocks, even if it's sea foam or whatever. So your body does not like that at all. So don't add it.
So among the other things to limit, it says most recommended food components were vegetable oils at 35%.
Recommended?
Recommended to eliminate.
Oh, to eliminate. Okay.
And soy protein at 18%.
Yeah, well, any kind of protein isolates.
Oh.
Okay, it's a protein, AKA processed food.
Yeah. These findings demonstrate that global dietary and nutrition guidelines support and are aligned with ACLM's recommendations that for treatment, reversal, and prevention of lifestyle-related chronic disease, the optimal eating plan is predominantly based on a variety of minimally processed vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds.
Plants. aPlantBasedDiet.org. That sounds familiar.
Michaela Carlson, PhD, Senior Director of Research and Senior Study Author, said in a statement, "Nutrition for chronic disease. Clinical practice guidelines reviewed for this study were developed by governments, major medical professional societies, and large health stakeholder associations to improve the health of adults with chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular disease, digestive diseases, weight-related conditions, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Dietary patterns, food groups, and food components were of primary interest in the study, while macronutrient and micronutrient recommendations were secondary interest." The
You
researchers
just got to get a balanced diet. That's a given.
Yeah.
Variety of plants.
The researchers focused on major guidelines for the study because that's what doctors rely on for their everyday practice. Clinicians depend on clinical practice guidelines developed from the most current and rigorous medical research to help steer their diagnosis, treatment, and management of common chronic diseases. Beth Braitz, MD, ACLM President, and Clinical Assistant Professor at Harvard Medical School, said in a statement, "The results of this comprehensive review of evidence-based clinical practice guidelines are important because they can benefit both clinicians and their patients by reducing their variability in dietary and nutrition guidance that often prevents clinicians from providing optimal care."
Waivers back there. They're waving to us. Are they plant-based eaters?
I hope. So, why nutrition is so important? The study notes that the global burden of disease report has confirmed that an unhealthy diet is responsible for more deaths globally than any other risk factor, including tobacco smoking.
Yep, that's why I say 80% of your health is the food. 80%.
To the author's knowledge, this was the first study to compare dietary recommendations across current clinical practice guidelines for multiple major chronic diseases. According to the ACLM researchers, the study's findings are important because patients have reported confusion caused by contradictory nutrition messages.
Actually, we have that on the front of our website at plantbaseddiet.org. When you scroll down, you'll see that the method is to confuse the public. That way people put their hands up in the air and they say, I don't know what to do. So it doesn't really matter.
They said it's especially online.
Yeah.
Because there's so many YouTubers out there that
YouTubers.
They eat meat and butter and they look fantastic and feel great.
Well, there's a lot of people out there in general, I talk about this in the book, Live 250, that just will tell you one thing and they just do another thing. They don't even follow their own advice. How can you check this stuff, really?
And notably, physicians whose expertise is frequently sought by patients often receive insufficient nutrition education in medical school to feel confident giving dietary guidance to patients for the treatment of chronic disease.
Definitely.
So, the growing prevalence of overweight individuals and obesity and the associated chronic conditions are a serious public health threat that must be urgently addressed.
It's been a public health threat forever and a day at this point.
For decades. Kelly C. Kara, MS, a doctoral student at Tufts
I
University.
say Oreos are a public health threat. So is television, seats everywhere.
Patients took to healthcare professionals for dietary guidance, so it's critical that physicians are fully informed and confident when offering recommendations to patients.
When's that going to happen, that all the doctors are actually fully informed?
Well, as soon as they all get this article.
Oh yeah, that's all you got to do is just get it to them, and then we have a total shift in the way everything's handled from that point on, right?
So
if only it worked that way.
the last line
Well, we just talked. Before you get to that last line, we just talked to a doctor at Savannah Veg Fest who told us that basically the big issue right now with non-lifestyle medicine, sneeze,
no.
medical practices is they don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Because all this requires explanation like we're doing right now. And actually this little bit of time, this 11 minutes, is more than the 10 minutes that they're given, right?
15.
At the maximum,
They're
okay?
given 15 minutes to see a patient.
Okay.
In most doctor's offices, or maybe that's all that HMO will pay for it.
Yeah, so right now everyone needs a thorough explanation of why they need to shift everything and change everything that they've done their whole lives. So we need a system that can do that and allows for an adequate time. So what's the end of the article?
So this doctoral student said, "We hope the results of this study will assist physicians in developing the foundation of knowledge needed to achieve those outcomes." So I hope that maybe we can,
What's
our
your take on
nonprofit can get a subscription to this study.
Well, we already know. This is all, the reality is, this is common sense. I've got it all available for free in the book, Live to 150. All the reasons why. I'm just glad, like I said, this ACLM and the concept of lifestyle medicine is just an attempt to break into the existing sick care system and to try to change people so that they start addressing root causes. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we already know all this information. This is no breaking news to me.
No, we've known all this for years. The journal is called medical journal is called Advances in Nutrition. So if the doctors aren't getting that journal, they're still not going to see this study.
Yeah. And even the doctors don't think that the patients can change their habits is the other thing. So anyway, yeah, I'm a lifestyle nutritionist too. I can help you also. If you need, just get in touch with me. I'll give my number, 240-205-0417. That's my direct mobile. I work outside the system, but it's the only way you're going to get the real results. That's why these people are putting this stuff out there, because the other methods that everyone uses just create a downward spiral of illness and reliance on pharmaceuticals, which don't solve anything, and they create all kinds of other negative side effects.
Yep.
Anything else?
This couple kissing in the mall.
Well, is that part of the prescription here for well-being? We'll walk by. It might come up in here when we're walking by. Anything else you want to say about the article?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Why not?
See you next time.
That's it? Okay. All right, so make sure you comment below. Let us know your comments on this entire subject in the comments below. That's a couple behind us there. And give us a like, of course, to help us with the algorithm. And please subscribe if you don't already. We'll see you in the next review and comment video. Bye-bye.
Bye.